Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another important live video update for you again this evening. A lot of states are starting to relax and ease up their lockdown laws. The federal government met with baby killer Jacinta Ardern to talk about this trans-Tasman bubble. And oh yeah, you didn't know she was a baby killer? Oh, go and do some research. Go and see what Jacinta Ardern, the perfect PM as everyone is touting. Look at the laws that she passed that now allows abortion up to full term. She let all that happen under the cover of this whole COVID-19 crisis. Everything is not as it seems, people. Look a little deeper. Look a little deeper. You'll be amazed at what you come up with. So yeah, this has been going on. The government has been absolutely bombarded with my will letters from people who are absolutely fed up with this insanity. They're fighting back against these mandatory vaccination laws, these flu jabs, the quarantine laws. Oh, and again, in case you missed it on Tuesday night, we actually explained the killer section 69 out of the Commonwealth Constitution, which explains why all the states have been acting unlawfully with regards to these quarantine laws, because all those powers had actually been passed back to the Commonwealth government. Oops, a little bit awkward there. So yeah, look, the good news though is that people have been hammering the government. As I said, the government's really worried, and Scotty from marketing, as he's affectionately known, good old Slowmo, is running for the hills. Okay, he is desperately trying to distract people. He's talking about the possibility of travel. He's talking about the possibility of businesses getting ready to open again on Monday. Well, I've got some news for you, mate. Businesses are already opening. The last week, I don't know where you guys are situated around the country, but the roads here in Melbourne have been almost as busy as they were before lockdown. Shopping centres have been almost as busy as they were before lockdown. A lot of businesses are already starting to open up. So Scotty's got a decision to make tomorrow when he makes his big announcement. Am I going to, toe the hard line and say, yes, we still need more lockdown and have everyone disregard and do what they want anyway? Or is he going to say, oh, yes, look, I think we've all done such a good job and we've kept the deaths really, really low, and that was because I controlled you all and kept you all locked down, so now you can go and see your mothers for Mother's Day. That's what he wants. He wants to distract you people. He wants to make you forget about all the unlawful actions of the various governments over the past 4 to 5 weeks. He wants you to forget about the 1 million people that have lost their jobs or had their livelihoods significantly impacted over something that is yet to be proven to be any worse than the standard flu. There have been less than 100 deaths. Is that justification to adversely affect, to negatively impact 1 million people? Go and look at what the suicide rates have done. Again, as I've said before, absolutely every death is tragic. Every death is sad. But with all due respect, most of these people have had other underlying conditions anyway. Okay, but you are getting middle-aged 20s, 30s, 40-year-old people who are committing suicide because they've lost their jobs. So yes, every life is important, but at what cost financially to the community? Now, I know people are going to be up in arms about this comment again, and there's going to be all sorts of posts, but it's interesting. I did a video update asking a whole heap of questions, including, how deadly is this COVID-19, pandemic after all? And surprisingly, all the trolls have all been very, very quiet. They were posting comments on all my other videos, but no one's really been able to manage to answer any of the questions that I posed in that video. Now, if you missed it, go and look it up. You'll find it on Facebook or YouTube. It's called, Can You Help Me Answer a Few Questions? And just go and look at the questions that I posed and see how few answers there are to them. So we want people to think. We really want people to think. But what we don't want people to do is we don't want people to get distracted. Do not allow Scotty from marketing and his mates to distract you tomorrow night when they make their announcement about what's going to happen in the coming weeks. Okay? Do not let them force you in one form or another to further government control, to this tracking via this ridiculous COVID-safe app. Talk about false and misleading marketing and advertising. It's absolutely insane. I mean, Scotty came out and said, this is very safe and it's going to help the community and it's going to save lives. Okay, but don't stress this. It's perfectly safe. All your data is safe. 2 days later, he came out and brought out new legislation saying that anyone that hacks into this app and uses this data for nefarious purposes is going to be severely punished. Well, hang on a minute. Didn't you just say it was perfectly safe? Make up your mind, mate. Which is it? That's about as useful as, going to the police and getting an intervention order against some, seriously violent person. It's not going to stop them from doing what they're going to do. Okay, there's no point saying, oh, but there was a piece of paper or a piece of legislation in place, to stop that. It didn't stop that, and it's too late after the fact. Okay, once your data's been handed over, the likelihood of it being compromised and used inappropriately is extremely high. So again, why would you even take the risk? It can't save your life. It's very unlikely to save anyone else's life. So why take the risk? Don't be distracted. Okay, don't roll over and give in to these mandatory flu vaccinations. Okay, that are at best, potentially unsafe and untested. Okay, at worst, well, we don't even want to go there. Now, we've covered this to death on recent radio shows, on recent video updates, just like this, and still people bombard us with questions every single day. So again, just put these questions, if you're in this position or you know someone who's in this position, put these questions in writing to your employer. Please direct me to your exemption from Article 7 of the Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Do you have an exemption from the Competition and Consumer Act, in particular where you are forcing a service upon me? Are you prepared to give me your personal warranty, whoever the CEO of the corporation is, give me your personal warranty that there will be no adverse reaction. I will not suffer any adverse reaction to this, to this flu vax. Please provide me with a copy of the peer-reviewed studies that you're relying on to suggest that this is safe. Okay, put these questions to them in writing. Now, if everything is above board and everything's perfectly fine, then they should have no problem responding to those questions at all. Now, if they and or try and handball say, oh, but we don't want to get a fine. Our hands are tied. The government's forcing us to do this. Well, no, those fines aren't going to go anywhere. Tell them to get the Know Your Rights book. Tell them to go and get the Aussie Speeding Fines book if they're worried about a fine. They tell you how to deal with fines. Okay, using that as an excuse that that we're going to get a fine from the government is absolutely unacceptable. And if they still push and they still stand their ground, then say that's fine. You've now given me all the evidence I need in writing because of your responses, so I'm now going to take legal action against you, and I'm going to sue you civilly for compensation, loss, stress, all the rest of it. And you can absolutely do that. And again, we've covered that on other shows as well. So look, at the end of the day, the government wants you to forget. Okay, they want you to forget how much you've suffered. They want you to forget about all the unlawful actions they've taken over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Okay, they want you all to go back to normal. Well, guess what? Normal was insane. Corporate bullying, okay? Complete financial control, debt control by the international banking cartel. More and more freedoms eroded and more control by the government. Okay, we do not want to go back to normal. That's the last thing we want to do. What we want to do is we want to go back into a world, or at least into a country, where we control, where we are, as we've said before, straight out of the Quick and Garran annotated constitution, we are the supreme, absolute, uncontrollable authority, and those in government exist to do our bidding, not the other way around. And it's our job, through things like those My Will letters, through things like the FOI requests, to remind them of that. We want to come out of lockdown into a country where we are in charge, okay, and our public servants exist to serve us, okay? And the way to do that is by getting your head around your rights. So, again, if you haven't yet got it, please grab a copy of this book, The Essential Step-by-Step Manual for Understanding and Exercising Your Rights. It explains to you what your rights are. It also, of course, covers your responsibilities. It also explains what the government's rights and obligations are and how you can hold them accountable. Okay, there's a link in the description to the website. Okay, if you want to hold the government accountable in relation to these ridiculous fines that they're issuing left, right and centre. Again, grab that Aussie Speeding Fines book. Again, there's a link to the website in the description. All the letters that you need to send are all pre-written there for you. They're very simple to follow. And if you want to hold the banks to account for their role in all of this, make sure you grab that Bank Secrets Revealed. ebook, which again has got step-by-step letters you can send to banks, send to debt collectors. If you're suffering, as we know a lot of people are, like about 1 million of them, you know, under serious cash flow problems at the moment, grab that. As I said, all the links are in the description for this video. Now, one final point before I go. Our Facebook admins have been absolutely bombarded. We're getting like 250 people a day joining up. And whilst it's excellent, it's fantastic, it's wonderful that people want to share this information, what a lot of people are doing is just sending out a blanket invite to all their contacts, and that really doesn't help us because a lot of those people have no interest in us. A lot of them are from overseas and all the rest of it. So please don't do that. By all means, share our information, share our videos, share our posts, share our group, share our website to people, but let them come to us if they're interested. Because whilst it looks really good that we've got thousands and tens of thousands of members, that doesn't really help us. What we need, okay, is we need super passionate people. We need people who are fed up and people who are ready to take action. Okay, we don't want, you know, quantity, we want quality. So please do that in mind. And speaking of quantity, again, our poor admins have been bombarded with posts that are happening multiple times a day. So again, we'd urge you, it's great that you want to share videos or links that you've come across, but please just have a quick flip through our news feed and just see if that particular, you know, news article or video or whatever it is, especially the videos, have already been uploaded, because we're getting people up, you know, trying to post the same video 10, 15, 20 times a day. Okay, so it just fills up our news feed with the same thing, and then people miss other information. So have a quick look through, check that hasn't already been posted, and then by all means, if you can't see it anywhere, then pop that in the post and give our admins a little bit of a breathing space, because they are working absolutely overtime at the moment, and they're doing a fantastic job. All right, as I think it was Tom Cruise in the words of Jerry Maguire, help us to help you. You know, we are here to help you. We are here to serve you in any way we can. And we want to get the information out to people. But most importantly, we want people to take action. So the videos are great, okay? But don't spend, you know, hours and hours and hours stuck there on Facebook and YouTube videos. Make sure you also get into these books, get onto the websites, get your head with the information, the step-by-step process, and take action, because action is the key. You know, there's this misnomer out there that, you know, knowledge is power. Knowledge isn't power. There's plenty of educated bums out there. Knowledge put into action, okay, that is true power, okay, and that's what we want people doing. We want them using these step-by-step processes and really taking action. So I'm going to leave it there for tonight. I want to wish everybody out there, all the mums out there, of course including my own, a very special, very happy Mother's Day. I urge you all, please do not allow this corrupt, criminal, corporate government to stop you from seeing your loved ones this weekend, especially your mothers, on Mother's Day. Do not let them do that. Okay, stand your ground, connect with your family, and have a wonderful Mother's Day. And please do keep an eye out. You'll notice it in the description. You'll notice this on all our posts moving forward. Our new hashtag, which is Do You Trust Your Government? Now, if you want to know what that's all about, please make sure you tune in at 8:30 on this Sunday night on Mother's Day, because we're going to do a very special video update explaining all of that in detail. Have a great couple of days. We'll talk to you on the weekend. Have an awesome Mother's Day. Thank you, everyone. Good night.